Okay, everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 80. We are now heading into the submissions tier video playlist, which is basically like 20-some randomized videos. We're just going to basically click right down here. I'm on the wrong mouse. Right down here and go next. And whatever shows up next, we watch in a row and go from there. Let's do it. What do we have this week? I don't even know. What is she doing? Like, what is the purpose of this video? Seriously, what is she? I don't even understand what she's doing. She doesn't look like she's dancing. She doesn't look like she's singing. She's just, like, standing there. And then the kid's, like, behind her doing stuff, right? But, like, what was she doing with the video to begin with? It's odd, isn't it? Does she think she's lip syncing or something? Like, what the? She thinks she's lip syncing the song? What? Obviously, it's the kid who everyone's watching right now. What is he doing? What? Why would she be doing this in a room with the door that there's no door to even close? You see that? Like, so this is bizarre. Bizarre video. All right, him wiggling his butt was pretty funny. That was pretty funny, man. All right. The cry of pain and terror. No! Wow. That was pretty good. I mean, I don't know what she thought he was ruining. It's not like the video she was making had any value anyway. Oh my god. Okay. Nintendo is racing its history, the war against ROMs. Let's see some of this.
In the summer of 2018, the best-selling console in June of that year wasn't the Nintendo Switch or
the volume on this one's way low. I guess I'll up the volume a little bit. Here we go.
The Sony PlayStation 4. It was the NES Classic, a miniature version of the NES that cost $60 and came with 30 classic NES titles. And it sold.
I wanted this, but the thing was in such demand, it was like impossible to get. Like, you needed to like get in on the freaking pre-orders so bad. Seriously, you had to get in so effing bad on the pre-orders that it was like so hard to get. I wanted to get them for like a year and a half, and I couldn't see them for sale anywhere. They were just on eBay for like an insane amount of money. You know, the resellers were reselling them, but it was so in demand, it was ridiculous.
Sold well, so well that Nintendo underestimated the demand. The NES Classic was frequently sold out, and resellers took advantage of the FOMO from those who weren't able to get one. The NES Classic underneath the covers is nothing more than a low-powered ARM device that runs an in-house Nintendo-developed emulator and ROMs. Nintendo would follow this up with the Super NES Classic, which was just as successful, and just like...
I wanted that, and I couldn't get it either, because that one had, it had an RPG on it I wanted. Was it Earthbound or something? Or it has an RPG on it, it's really good, but I couldn't get it. It was outsold constantly. Just couldn't get it anywhere.
Any other mini console at the time, it would be quickly hacked to run just about any emulator and ROM that you wanted. In July 18 of the same year as the NES Classic, Nintendo would file a lawsuit against the operator of a popular console ROM site known as LoveRoms.com. According to Nintendo, the sites are among the most notorious online hubs for pirated games, and just 3 days later, LoveRoms was shut down.
This, I remember early 2000s when I was in college, university, right? You could get any game you wanted and play it on an emulator, basically. Like all arcade games, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Genesis, Master System, you know, anything of that era, you could just get. And there was absolutely no policing of the internet for it whatsoever. No one went after anyone, you know. But then I guess what happened is eventually Nintendo wanted to start selling their classic library and their own proprietary devices. So, they were selling Super Mario Brothers as a cartridge to put into your Game Boy Advance. So all of a sudden, after a few years of this kind of rampant do whatever you want on the internet, Nintendo did start going systematically striking all these companies with cease and desist orders, things like that. And basically what happened was you just couldn't find Nintendo games anymore. Like, you could still find ROMs for all the other companies, but you couldn't find just the Nintendo games anymore. For whatever reason, it was always Nintendo. So they know how to basically capitalize on their library. They keep reselling and reselling their classics and making money on them. A lot of these other companies just act like their classics don't exist, and they just forget about them, and then they just sit around in disrepair. There's no way to play them. It's pretty sad. But Nintendo, at least you can argue, they still try to keep their old games prominent, right? Like today, to play Nintendo games, you would get the Switch online subscription, and then you have the NES and Super NES apps there where you can play a lot of their games, right? Now, Lady Charisma, well, first of all, Casanova says Dreamcast was easy. Dreamcast 100% was on the internet, like the entire library, and no one ever did anything about it, so that's why that console failed. Lady Charisma says, but not even selling, they're going after ROMs for games you couldn't buy anymore, so basically there's no way to play them. So, now that's kind of sad that there's basically gatekeeping or whatever, right? I do think that's kind of sad, man. That basically the situation is that you can't play their games at all. Then I get the feeling that for posterity purposes, right? Then ROMs and emulation makes sense. It's sad that there's going to be some games forgotten to time entirely. That's bad.
Enemy Paradise, out of fear of being targeted by Nintendo, also ceased providing ROMs on their website. In July of 2019, Nintendo went scorched earth on another popular ROM sharing site known as ROM Universe, stating the company alleges ROM Universe is built largely on brazen and mass-scale infringement. It was shut down shortly after. And fast forward to today, Vim's Lair is the latest in a string of high-profile ROM sites that have been a target of Nintendo and their quest to eradicate illegal ROMs and piracy. In the case of Vim's Lair, Nintendo, along with...
Yep, there you go. Vim's Lair has been asked to remove any games from the vault on behalf of Nintendo, Sega, Lego, and ESA. While most of the games and the hardware to play them haven't been sold in decades, ultimately it's their prerogative, so these games are now gone for good. So you just can't play them emulated ever. And they're not selling them, so there's no way to play these games. They're just gone, erased from history. That's really sad.
Sega, Lego, and a group of companies who formed the ESA was responsible. Now, I do want to be very clear that Nintendo does have every right to protect what's theirs, and ROM sites do indeed host illegal ROMs. But it's in my opinion that Nintendo is causing irreparable damage to a community that's almost single-handedly kept game preservation efforts alive for decades. And we're going to talk about why I'm genuinely concerned about the future of video game preservation after a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you...
No, we're not going to listen to that. I mean, you think about it. This is the equivalent of like a Vincent van Gogh painting, correct? It's a beautiful work of art. It's amazing. But someone, like whoever actually owns the original painting, says, well, you have no right to show any copies of it or anything anywhere. So you just cannot see this painting ever. The only people who can even remember the painting are people who saw it in person previously. But the original painting is locked in a vault somewhere, and you have absolutely no right to reproduce an image, picture, or anything of the painting. The painting's just gone, right? So now what happens is people forget about the painting. They forget it ever existed. Imagine if things like the Mona Lisa, that's not a Van Gogh painting, the Mona Lisa. What if you were not ever able to see a picture or representation of the Mona Lisa anywhere because the owner of the Mona Lisa says, oh, that's infringing on my piece of art that I own, but then they take the Mona Lisa and they lock it away in a closet. So now you can't see the original, you can't see other reproductions of it, no one has any memory of it, and it gets erased from existence. That's essentially what's happening with Nintendo and their library. That's messed up. These are pieces of art. Yes, they're also products to be bought and sold, but they absolutely are artistic pieces that people grew up playing. It's part of your childhood. It's part of your history, right? And now you have no way to experience it in the modern day because some Nintendo lawyer decided to close it up. It's kind of odd. I mean, I would love to hear Nintendo's rationale on what they're doing and why they're doing it, honestly.
Nintendo has a well-documented stance against emulation and ROMs. In 1999, when Ultra HLE, the first public Nintendo 64 emulator released, they called emulation illegal. But after it was tried in court and emulators were found to actually be legal, Nintendo changed their strategy. If they can't take down the emulators, then why not go after the sites that host the ROMs? Now you might be thinking to yourself, MVG, Nintendo just took down Yuzu, that's an emulator, so what are you talking about? Nintendo did shut down Yuzu, however, the DMCA law was never tried in court. Yuzu took an L to keep emulation legal, which I think everyone can agree was the right thing to do.
So, what happened is Nintendo sued an emulator company. And the emulator company said, okay, we'll just agree to pay you a settlement rather than having it go to court and be hashed out again and find emulation to be illegal, in which case no one can ever emulate anything ever again. They didn't want to take it to that level, right? It's kind of like, it's kind of like if you're doing a Let's Play on YouTube of a game, and then all of a sudden the game developer hits you with a copyright strike, but you're like, oh, well, I don't understand. You know, I'm doing a Let's Play that's legal under transformative work. No one has taken it to court. Reason being, no one wants someone to say in court that Let's Plays are illegal. And now everyone who's ever played a video game online has to remove their Let's Play. You don't want to open the Pandora's box, right? So I kind of get it. And everyone says they did the right thing. Yeah, it's kind of nice that they took the high road there and kind of took the L so everyone else could keep doing what they were doing. I get it.
But let's get back to ROMs, which is the main topic of this video. I mentioned that Nintendo has every right as the copyright holder to remove what belongs to them. But did you notice that Nintendo is pushing for the removal of the entire sites, threatening the preservation of ROMs that don't even belong to them? But
dude, I guess what he's doing, he's emulating games to get this footage. Because look how amazing this footage looks. Right? This is super HD, awesome 60 frame footage of like F-Zero. And I've never seen the game look this good before. So this must be the example of how the emulator made the game run better. That's what it looks like to me.
MVG, what about archive.org, I hear you ask? That's never going to go away. Let's stop and discuss archive.org for a moment. And while I do agree that with the loss of Love ROMs, Vimslare and other sites, as long as archive.org exists, then everything will be fine. But it's really not the case. First of all, let's talk about why Nintendo hasn't gone after archive.org in the same way as they have with the other sites. Well, it's because archive.org has a DMCA exemption to help with the archival of vintage software. It's vital to make proper archival copies of these artifacts. The problem with this exemption is it's not forever. Every 3 years, the Copyright Office holds a rulemaking proceeding to determine the exemption status. And for example, if 1 year they rule against the DMCA exemption, the site is then exposed to the same takedowns as any other ROM site. It's as simple as that.
I've literally never heard of a DMCA exemption. That's wild that they gave them the exemption just for preservation purposes.
Lasts forever, except for the ridiculous copyright laws when it comes to video games. And if you didn't know, here in the United States, video game copyright lasts for the entire life of the creator plus an additional 70 years. And Nintendo themselves have been outspoken opposing the DMCA exemption on archive.org. If and when there is a reversal of the DMCA exemption, Nintendo will be the first company to strike. So what can we do about this? ROM sites are illegal, but can we dump our own games? Is it even legal to do that? I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding of dumping is that it's perfectly legal to dump your own games as long as you're not circumventing any protection measures as stated by the DMCA. In general, what this means is that anything up to around the 6th generation of game consoles would be perfectly legal to make backups of. Anything beyond that is a grey area. But for this discussion, let's just assume that all ROMs can be dumped by individuals who own originals, and it's perfectly legal to do that. So, if it's okay to download and use an emulator and dump your own games, then what's the problem? Preservation lives on. After all, I'm making a legal backup of my games. The problem is, have you ever tried to dump a NES, Super NES, Genesis, or old game cartridge? It's not an easy thing to do. You need some type of dumping hardware like this.
All right, so now he's getting into this ultra technical stuff about dumping. I don't really care about that. I think we're going to go to the next video. I don't care about the difficulty in dumping the ROMs. So I wonder what's going to happen. Are we going to lose a whole bunch of games? Right? We might, right? We might lose a ton of games simply because there's no way to preserve them if places like Nintendo keep taking them down. That's sad.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I am in a bit of trouble, actually.
let's see what this is. The Ramsey Show 1 month ago. Start eliminating debt. So is this a show people call in that get ideas of how to get rid of their debt? I don't know anything about this guy. I guess that's what this is. Okay.
Okay.
So I guess I don't want to even start. So I guess in the last year, I've been.
Is this too loud now? I think it went real loud. So let me lower this volume. I don't want to blow you guys' ears out. Hold on. Let me go back to a normal level. Okay.
Building up some debt, kind of hiding it from my family, and it all recently came out, and pretty much just tearing apart my family at this point. So
how much debt, man?
I just about $50,000.
Are you?
It's all credit card.
What are you buying?
So that's the worst part is not really buying anything. It's actually streaming. So I used to play video games a lot. I'm actually in the military, so I used to play video games as a way to kind of cope. And basically, I got into streaming and watching other streamers play video gaming, and kind of help pass the time. And
So is this Waffins? So you guys know more about people than I do. You're talking about people like in the Kino Casino community who would do that. I wonder if he's into like sports games and he got bad into like the Ultimate Team shit, like the packs and shit. I've heard that's really bad, right? But of course, if this is a mobile game, you know what's going to happen is they're going to say, oh, see, someone got him. They submitted a mobile game video. Who cares? Let's see.
Especially when I'm at work. And I kind of got into the whole gifting subscriptions. Couldn't really control it. I can say I've never been addicted to anything ever in my life. But
no, you
this
can't.
Has got to be the closest thing.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, you're right. I can't say that. Yeah, I guess
the definition of addiction is a pattern of behavior that continues after the person knows that it is hurting me, and I continue to do it anyway. Can I tell you, Alex? And this is me just being straight up with you. I don't know if I fully believe you. What else were you spending? $50,000. I only see that in extreme, like you suddenly have somebody else that you're courting, or you're struggling with drugs, you're struggling with gambling.
It honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but that literally is it. It was.
You're just sitting there watching Twitch, and you're just gifting thousands of dollars away to people.
Yes. I got so into the hype. You drop that $500, 100 subs, everybody goes crazy, and they hype you up, and I got so into it. I don't know, it just kept happening. I just kept doing it, and I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't paying attention. As soon as one credit card max, go straight to another one.
You got to wonder, like, what streamer, right? And if this is Twitch, I mean, let's be honest here. This could be some of this predatory content on Twitch, the girl who's being flirty with the person because they're gifting her shit, writing their name on their arms and shit, and the guy just gets completely addicted to it, right? I definitely can see that in certain cases. I don't think there's anyone, I would hope, and I'm going to say this publicly to everyone out there, if you're addicted to contributing to anyone, me or any other content creator, please seek help and stop. I would much rather know that the money that I'm making is legit and not hurting you and your family. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that burden to think that there's people out there going crazy overspending. I can't stop it. There's no way I can identify that, right? Like, I don't know who you guys are personally or what your means are, anything like that. But I really would feel bad to find out that someone went nuts and just, over gifted like crazy. Could this be the person who bought the Pokemon cookies? Could this be the guy who also buys the canned farts? Could this be, you know what I mean? Like, I agree, it's addiction. If you get to that level where you're just spending for the sake of getting like a dopamine hit that someone gave you attention for your spending, that's bad. That's very, very bad.
Over what course of time? How long did it take you to acquire this debt?
It was over a year.
Bro, I'm having a hard time with it.
Same.
I'm having a hard time with it. Like, so
I mean,
are you married?
I am. I'm married and I have kids, and that was the hardest part was once I realized how bad it was, and I
Dude, you would
myself
know,
from those
man.
things.
Alex, you would know. Like, maybe if you're sitting there trying to explain this to your wife or something, she'll buy this. But you had to actually go open new credit cards.
I did.
So you didn't just open your eyes and there was $50,000 when.
Well, no. So the credit cards were old ones that we had zero balance on, that we had used from years prior when. During COVID, we were using, my wife wasn't able to work, so it was just my income that was supporting us. And you know, mortgage rates in Colorado are not very good at all, and they haven't been for a long time. And we just basically were using credit cards to kind of survive. Once we came out of that, and she was able to start working, we were able to pay them down. We even refinanced the house at one point to be able to get some money back to.
So you're
pay the
making.
rest of them off.
Let me ask a little bit of a more tactical question. You've got $50,000 in credit cards. You've got to make minimum payments.
Yes.
Is that what raised the flag to
like
her? How did
barely-
she?
Yeah.
How did she not notice? Hey, there's hundreds of dollars going out every month in minimum payments. I'm guessing you
So
guys
that-
keep the money separate, so she couldn't see that.
Well, so I actually went and opened up a checking account on the side, so that way I could have some of my paycheck.
Right, but she.
This is crazy. So now this guy, this is all orchestrated. He orchestrated this entire situation. He opened up credit cards, but I guess the wife doesn't know about them. He has a separate bank account he opened separate from his wife as well to hide all of this, and then he kept doing it. Like, this is a weird story. Yeah, I'll be honest, even I'm having a hard time believing the story. This sounds like baloney, right? This sounds like a baloney story that he's calling in or something. I don't know, because it just doesn't seem very feasible to me what they're saying. That you would not know the kind of debt and problems. Like, you know, I met my wife in 2017, right? She moved in with me in 2018. She already knew about the insane amount of debt and financial problems that I was having. She loved me despite those problems, but she was well aware of all the debt, the problems, how tight it was getting, that I couldn't afford payments. She well knew that probably I might have to do something like a bankruptcy eventually. This wasn't like a shocking revelation to her. Oh my God, I didn't know. She knew. So this is like, how on earth did you secretly keep all of this away from? I opened a secret bank account. Like, this is crazy. How much time does he spend away from his wife? Right? I think he said he was military, but like, how much time do you spend away from your wife that you're able to do all of this and she never knows? That's crazy to me. Like, that sounds like a relationship where they're not even spending time together so he can do all this secret shit. He's sitting on streams tossing all of their money away, not even their money, they, debt, credit card debt, and then he has secret shit. Like, what? This is weird and bizarre. Anyway, I don't think we're gonna go any further with that one. I think, obviously, you know what this is. This is someone probably trying to sneak diss me. Maybe not, but it'd be someone trying to sneak diss me saying, you had all that debt, and we know that it was from a mobile game, and you hid it from your wife. She knew all about my debt when she moved in with me in 2018. I told her all about everything. Remember, we went to get married in 2019, and that was the major conversation we had was, are we going to go on a honeymoon, or are we just going to spend money to pay taxes so that we can continue to not have issues with this? And then try to seek a solution. Like, all of this we tackled, ourselves. And it's nothing like this guy's situation. This guy is like, he has a secret life away from his wife and family that they don't know about. But what the hell do they think he's doing? What job does he have that he can sit there at work clicking and giving away subscriptions and then have a secret bank account? It's a wild story. So I totally agree with him. I don't think it's real. I think it's a bullshit story, quite frankly. I received a $2 tip. Someone says, June the King documentary is out and it has a title. Yeah, we already know. We talked all about that on my podcast this morning, in depth, actually. We analyzed the title. We looked at all the timestamps. We did all that stuff. So that's a segment on my podcast that I'll upload later today. I'll actually break that out as well as a clip. And you can check that out over on the DSP Gaming channel if you're interested. And we begin reacting to that documentary tomorrow night right here on this channel if you're interested. Okay, let's see another video before we split the part here. LowTierGod's ultrasonic Street Fighter 6 meltdown.
Another trash player, bro.
Took the controller away. He's in Diamond? He is. He's in Diamond. He's not even at Master yet. He's at Diamond 1-star Akuma? Seriously? I thought he was better than that. Seriously, I thought he was better than that. He's Diamond 1-star Akuma. Yikes.
I just want you guys to see them not playing them ears. Here's my controller right here.
I don't understand what's going on. How old is this video? Oh, okay, if it's 2 months ago, maybe he just had a bad placement initially. I thought this was from like this week. This is a 2-month-old video. All right, that kind of makes sense. If he's on the climb, right? If he's on the climb, he definitely could have had a bad placement, especially when the character was new, so I won't hate on that.
Every single match I play is a fucking broke, bum-ass, useless, pussy-ass, born-for-nothing-ass stream sniper. Every single time. You're blocked too.
So he thinks everyone's stream sniping him. I mean, I'll be honest, I've experienced this. I've got every time I'm fighting one of these fucking camis, it's the same person who changed their name 20 times. They play exactly the same and shit. They're stream sniping assholes. So I get that, but I don't. You know, I guess people are saying that, oh, it's delusional. He's not saying the truth or whatever. What is this fucking music? This is atrocious.
Of course he did a drive impact in the corner. What else is he gonna do? Mash and jab, of course. Mash and jab, of course.
It looks like he has lag. Like I'm watching, like the things he's trying to do, and it looks like his inputs are coming out late. So from what I'm seeing. Yeah, see? Yo, he's got input issues. I can read it right now, looking at him playing. He's got dropped inputs. 100% he's got dropped inputs. He's got not dropped inputs, delayed inputs. What version does he play on? Does anyone know? Is he on PC or is he on... Oh, no. He's on PlayStation. Oh, no. Dude, he's probably got a lag-ass fucking setup. No wonder. He's experiencing what I was experiencing. He was playing on PS5. How much you want to bet? He doesn't have the VRR on, variable refresh rate. So he's got monster delay. Absolutely. I think so. Because I'm seeing him, you would think he's going to do the... He can't even do his basic combo. It's dropping and shit. Yeah, I think he's just got a real bad setup.
Want me in the corner? All right, what's next?
See? He's dropping his combo countless times. Somehow. What is up with that? That's basic combo shit he's dropping. And now he loses. Because he dropped his combo. Oh, he beat him. Okay. I'm watching this whole match. I guess he loses to him.
Scrub combo. You blew 3 meters for that?
No, and you can see that, like, he can't react. He's trying to react, and it's not reacting. See? He looks like he looks sluggish. Everything he's doing looks completely sluggish. I'm sorry, this music, like, I get it, but this is, for a fighting game, I don't want to hear this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is a fighting game, I want to hear fighting game music. At least play some nice fighting game classic music or something. I don't like the fact that it's like a different soundtrack from another game being played. If this were an RPG, it's fine. I don't want to hear this, right? During this, it's like very jarring listening to this music.
Of course he jumps off the corner. be a Street Fighter game for all fucking time,
I can really hear him talking, but his music is so fucking loud, it doesn't fit the game. I can't hear what he's saying. Oh God, what a dude! Oh no, he quit. He quit because he doesn't. Oh no, he didn't quit. He doesn't want to see the animation, right? He hates seeing super animations against him. Wow. Why? No, never do standing roundhouse, dude. That was terrible. He easily could have trapped him. The dude had no super. The guy had no meter at all. No super. Was in the corner. All he had to do was punch and fucking drive impact. He gets a free corner combo into level 3. He blew it. It's not gonna work. It's a combo that's not gonna break it. Right now. Oh my God! All he had to do was cancel the level 3. He won. He made a ton of mistakes. An insane. No!
This is the fakest Street Fighter title I've ever played in my life.
He played it very poorly. he had lots of chances there. He played it incredibly poorly, man.
I bet $5,000 that same player couldn't pull off one round on me in Street Fighter 4 with Ryu. Not one fucking round. It just wouldn't work. You can't just do
You can't just do what? You made a ton of mistakes. He made a ton of mistakes there. He had like tons of opportunities to win, and he just made tons of mistakes over and over. You know? No, what I'm seeing is, it looks to me like his setup has massive delay from these matches, because that was supposed to be like a 19 millisecond match, and he's dropping basic combos, and he can't react to Ryu at the beginning of the match, low medium kick drive rush. Like, yeah, I think his setup sucks. He's playing on PS5. He probably doesn't have variable refresh rate on. He probably has a laggy TV, right? So that's his issue. He's never going to hang unless he gets a better setup, right? He needs a better setup. I don't know what his financial situation is. He claims here that he has 3,741 subscriptions. If that's the case, this guy is bringing in around $7,000, $8,000 a month just on subscriptions alone. He's got to get a better setup, or else he's going to struggle forever. It totally looks to me like he's struggling, you know? Honestly, it doesn't seem like he's having problems. Like, looking at this guy, I mean, anything there? I mean, the one thing is he's blocking everyone, right? So that's like the one thing I would say, right? Is that he's blocking everyone, but everything else there, he's playing poorly and he's upset about it and he makes excuses. It's not that bad. Honestly, I don't think that's very bad. What we're seeing there, I guess people think this is awful behavior or something. I don't think so. Does it get worse? Is there another one? Cognitive drain. All right, we'll watch the end of it. Cognitive drain.
See.
Look at that. What was that? I don't think he wanted that.
Bro, I don't even want to play this shit no more. I'm not finishing this match. I don't even feel like playing, bro.
What?
This ain't Street Fighter to me. I'm gonna come back to this game when there's a character I actually want to use.
So he just doesn't like the game anymore.
The fact that I'm even playing Akuma in a Street Fighter game shows you how mid this shit really is. Never in my life have I sat here and just played fucking Akuma for an hour in a Street Fighter game. Not in my entire fucking life, bro.
I don't understand what his point is.
I'm gonna play a remedial version of Street Fighter with modern controls, easy mode combos, jab, 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 spam, a bunch of random shit. I'll wait until there's a character in the game I actually like. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't force yourself to play if you don't like the game. I agree. That's why I totally skipped Street Fighter 5, remember? I only played Street Fighter 5 the first year, and I gave up. I was like, dude, I can't play this anymore. I know this game ain't for me. I absolutely fucking hate this shit. He deleted Street Fighter 6. Oh, and I'm sure he never went back and played it ever again, right? That was it. He never played it ever again? Sure, I believe that.
The fact that I gotta cut on Street Fighter to play Akuma should let you know that's a serious fucking problem.
What's he talking about? What does that even mean?
I don't fucking sit here and use Shotos in fucking any Street Fighter game. Closest you're gonna get to seeing me do that is like Sean or Dan or some shit.
So why are you doing it? Why is he doing it then?
Shit like that. And I don't even consider them full show though. I'm fucking, bro, I'm sitting here playing Akuma in a Street Fighter game.
And so don't play him.
That is a serious problem. No more.
I don't even understand what he's talking about. What's the problem? You chose to pick the character and use him. There's another like 20 characters in the game you could be using right now. Like, I understand. Maybe it's the character's new and he doesn't like the character, but people are asking him, you got to play the new character. It's what everyone's doing. But dude, I played Aki. I didn't like her, so I never used her after the first day, right? Same thing with Rashid. I played him once. I didn't really like him. I never used him after the first day. I didn't even use Ed. I probably never will. So you don't have to use the new character. I actually don't even know what he's complaining about. I'm so confused. You know what it is? It's probably people who know LowTierGod, like know his video or whatever, or his attitude, and they know what he's complaining about. I literally don't know what he's complaining about. I'm confused. There's one thing he's legit really good in Street Fighter 6, knowing the exact length of each super in the game while hiding behind the dashboard. He always comes back to the game the instant the super ends. It's his superpower. Wow. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused, but I'm not in on the lore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in on the lore, so I can't really comment to understand what those were examples of. But, all right. Well, everyone, thank you. It's time for us to do our final part of DSP versus the Internet for the week. Thanks so much for watching and for your submissions, and I'll see you in the final part.